What's up, Young Kings? So the next skill for you to master in this business is called closing. Closing is basically the art of leading someone to a decision that benefits themselves. And so, a huge statement, a huge, like a quote that really changed the way I started closing when I really understood what it meant is this. Questions are the answer, and this is a key concept when it comes to closing. Is when you're closing people, you should be speaking less than they are. Right? Focus on being interested instead of interesting, and ask questions about who they are, what they want, and find out if this Vemma vehicle is truly something that can get them what they want out of life and help them. I don't just say, when I share this opportunity with people, I tell them if it can't help you, don't do it. And I sincerely mean that. And I would hope that the rest of our group has the same philosophy as me, is that we're only looking to help those that need and want to be helped. Some people won't see it, how we see it, and it's not our job to sell them. We're sharing this with them, getting them educated, and getting them to a place where they understand what we're doing, the benefits that what we're doing provides, and then seeing if they want to do it with us. If not, great. If they do, awesome, right? But when it comes to closing, like I said, you're leading them to a decision. It's like closing is something you do for someone, not to them, because you're just leading them to a decision. Now, after a full exposure, I usually ask people 3 questions, right? After a full exposure, a home event, a conference call, they've met my upline at a 2-on-1 or a 3-way call or a FaceTime or an Uvu call, right? I ask someone these 3 questions once they've been fully educated on what we're doing. Number 1, did you understand everything? What did you not, okay, did you understand everything? What did you not understand? Okay, let's break through that. We talk about that, and I answer any questions they might have. Usually, if you've done it right, you've shown the right videos and introduced them to the right people, they probably understood everything, because this concept is pretty simple when you break it down, right? So did you understand everything? If they have questions, answer them. If they have questions and you don't have the answer to them, point to a resource or a tool that will give them the answer, or a person. Leverage your upline. Don't pretend you know the answer, right? The second question I ask is, okay, so out of everything you understood, what did you like best? And then super key is I roll with it. If they're like, yeah, honestly, man, I love the products. I love the idea of a healthy source of this, a healthy alternative to that, right? Well, then what I do is I roll with them. I'm like, dude, I love the products as well. I saw a lot of merit value when I first got started in the business, due to the product, right? If they like the business, I talk about that. If they like the community of the young pros, I talked about that. Whatever it is, roll with it, agree with them, and encourage them that that's an awesome answer, because any answer is awesome. You ask, what did you like best, and not what did you think? Because when you ask, what did you think, it opens up their mind for criticism, right? Where the word like is focusing on the best thing about everything they saw, the good things, the positive things, and you're gonna help them focus more on those things. And the last question I ask is a negative response question, which basically means a question which the response is no. And why I do that is because our minds as humans, we're built to basically lean more in the negative side. It's way easier for us to give a negative answer than a positive one. So the question I ask, and I would write this down and take notes on this question because it's not on the board, is the question I ask, the third question in closing, what I ask is, all right, so do you see any reason why not to get started with this plan to success? So again, do you see any reason why not to get started with this plan to success? So again, number 1, did you understand everything? Number 2, what did you like best? And I roll with it. And then 3, do you see any reason why not to get started with this plan to success? Right? And those are the 3 questions I ask. And then after that, almost every single time they say no, because it's easier and because it just makes sense, right? They like a lot of things about it and they understand everything. Then I immediately say these next words. And if you're not saying these words after someone says no to that last question, you're doing it wrong, right? What I say is, all right, let's get you started. It's really easy to be afraid to say those words because it's implying a commitment, but saying those words at that time in that way works every single time, guys. So let's get you started. Don't be afraid to say it, right? And then immediately I pull up the laptop, the MacBook, the iPad, the phone, whatever it might be, to plug them in to getting product through my website and creating their own website. And I say, all right, man, let's get you started. The next step is for us to get product sent your way, for us to get you plugged in with your website and free back office so you can run your business, and then for you to get set up with the team and the trainings to help you succeed in this business. And then this week we're gonna go to work on your goals and your dreams, man. I'm so excited for you. And then I plug them in to the system. I plug them in, with getting the product that he wants to get, an affiliate pack or a 2-pack, and we go from there. And then I start the enrollment process. You can watch that video also on this page on how to enroll. But that's how I close. And you might have to handle some objections when you're doing this closing process, whether it's what they understood, you got to answer some questions, or maybe they see a reason why they shouldn't do the business, and that's all that is, an objection. And what's key to know about objections, there's nothing to be afraid of when it comes to objections. Objections are simply an invitation to conversation. That's all they are, right? And so there's there's 4 big ones, but you handle the first one. Did you understand everything? One of the biggest ones is people don't usually understand everything. That's a huge objection, but we already handled that, right? So there's 3 ones remaining. Number 1, they don't believe it, right? Number 2, they don't have the time. Number 3, they don't have the money, right? So when it comes to belief, belief comes into 3 different areas. There's 3 kinds of belief that you have to get started in this business, in my opinion, right? Number 1 is belief in yourself. Number 2 is belief in the company. And number 3 is belief in the industry, right? And so how you handle this objection about belief is getting them plugged in with success stories and showing them the credibility of what we're doing and how we're doing it and how it truly is the business of the 21st century, and raising that belief level in them and being their confidence at first and showing them, dude, I've already done this, I'm doing this with or without you, let's do it together, here's some success stories, I believe in you. The next thing is time. When it comes to someone with the objection of time, they're a busy person, what I always tell people is, if you're busy, this is perfect for you. And then I give an example of a busy person that built this business and the success they've seen. I find a success story that relates to their objection, and I share that with them. So go find a person in your upline, in your team, in your downline, in your crossline that had the same objection of time. They're a busy person, and how they overcame it and made this thing happen, and show that to the person that's giving you the time objection, right? Talk about how this is a part-time business. It's not full-time. It's I say it's not even part-time. It's your time, and it takes consistent action every day. But it can be here or there, and it's just putting it in every day is what the key thing is. And the crazy thing about it is that we do it every day for companies that don't pay us. All we're doing is taking that time. We talk about movies and restaurants and the brands that we're wearing and all these other things, and just taking a little bit of that time that's not paying us to do that and putting it into Vemma and these products which are paying us to do it, right? And then with the money, man, with the objection of money, which is the 3rd one, is at that point they're already telling you they want to get in the business. And at that point, I treat the people that say, yeah, man, I just don't have the money, I treat them like they're already part of the family. I'm like, awesome, man, I'm so excited for you to get started. How much money do you have? And I'm not afraid to ask that question. I don't ask it in a weird way. I just go, how much money do you have? So I know what I'm working with. They tell me, and they say, all right, man, let's create a plan for you to get the money in the next week, in the next 2 weeks. We set a goal, and then we go to work on figuring out unique and creative ways for them to get money so that they can get started. Because the biggest thing is, when someone says, I don't have the money to get started, what I always ask is, okay, how do you feel? How does that make you feel? If this is something, an opportunity of a lifetime that you want to take advantage of, and the only thing that's keeping you from doing it is a dollar bill. And I share my story because I was in a similar place. Again, just with the time one, if you weren't in a similar place with the money thing, find someone like myself or anyone else and find out that story, learn that story, and share that story with your people that have the money objection, guys. So I hope this provides some value for you guys. This is how we go about closing here at the Young Kings. Apply this, and you'll start seeing some amazing success in this business through closing, through leading people to a decision. Remember, closing is not something you do to someone, you do it for them. And remember, guys, if you become great and you teach great, you can live great. Peace out, guys.